I called a salami sandwich once. I referred to it as a salami sandwich. And it's just funny. I love seeing it. Oh, my math was wrong on a video that went really, really viral. My math was intentionally wrong, but I intentionally said one number less than what it was. And the engagement, that video has like millions of views. The engagement was insane because they're like, 4 plus 4 is 8, not 9. That's not the number, but yeah. And I think I said 15 plus 7 was 21. That's what I said. And people are losing their minds. And they're still, that was last September. Well, that's what they say. People want to be heard, they want to feel smarter than you. They love when you make them feel smart.
I did a video where I was like mid sip, like, or mid talking, like took a sip of my drink, and my daughter watched it. She's like, that was really so extra. Why did you need to do that? I'm like, that was a visual hook. Like opening the soda.
Lick your microphone.
Yeah.
you know, like weird things work.
Welcome to Holistic Dose. We've been through the plot twists, divorce, parenting, burnout, reinvention, and now we're doing life with more honesty and way less BS. Think of us as your unfiltered friends, here to remind you that you're not too late, too old, or too behind. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jeanette.
And today's guest, we have Tara Johnson. So she was once told that she was too fat, too old to make it online. And instead of shrinking, she's decided to turn it around completely, and she's shared and she's changed everything. So she works a full-time job. She runs a household with her 2 kids and her husband who's disabled. And she does this online, affiliate marketing, and has gotten tons of recognition and grown her platform in an incredible way. So she's shown up for herself, and every single day, and we're going to hear and learn about her story. But before we do, for those who know about affiliate marketing or do or don't, it's all these moms and women who are interested in TikTok affiliates and how do we make money online. And it's become so wildly popular for the 40 and plus age demographic. And Tara is in her early 50s. So, we think about it like, is it being an influencer or is it an affiliate? So if you think about the last time you've shared your favorite lipstick with a friend, or, your favorite outfit that you've bought, and that's affiliate marketing. You're basically sharing these brands with your friends and families, but you're doing it for free. So some really interesting, incredible stats around affiliate marketing. So 81% of brands rely on affiliate marketing programs as their core revenue strategy. So it's not going away anywhere. And the affiliate marketing industry, which was incredible to read the stats, it's 17 billion globally that it's worth. And Gen X and Boomers are the fastest growing demographic in this category. So there's so much opportunity for us 40 and plus ladies out there who want to make an extra income on the side or make it become their full-time income. And then the last one, 92% of consumers trust recommendations from individuals over the online ads. And you see this becoming more popular over and over again, as we turn to follow our favorite people and we know and love what they offer. So I'm so excited to have you here, Tara, and to share a little bit about your story. So we're going to chat about, midlife reinvention, social media, and affiliate marketing, and let's dive in. So, Tara, I'd love to learn a little bit about you and share, how we met. And
So I got started on TikTok when I went on a weight loss journey. I was using a GLP-1 medication. I was one of the first people out there doing that, and that led to an affiliate deal with a company selling compound meds. From there, I got into TikTok Shop, and my husband, I would say that my affiliate marketing was a little bit extra, but it wasn't something that I was looking to have as income to really help my family sustain itself. My husband became sick. We became sheltered at home because we didn't have the equipment. He became completely immobile. We didn't have the equipment to get him in and out of the house. We were really stuck. It was February in New York, and all I had was TikTok Shop.
which year was this
I'm
in?
sorry?
Which year was this in?
24. It was
Was this the year that you had started?
Yeah,
Okay.
2024. It was February 2024. I had been doing a little bit of TikTok Shop, but I wasn't really taking it seriously. I was just, if I saw something, if I wore something, if I liked it every once in a while, I would share it. Then I was more about GLP-1s at that time. Then I was really looking for things to do. I couldn't do anything outside my house. I was petrified I would gain the weight back, so I couldn't bake, which is what used to be my therapy. So one company sent me a sample. I applied for a sample for their eyeshadow sticks, which I'm not even sure why I did that. I didn't wear makeup. And even the few times that I did wear makeup, it was never eyeshadow because I felt completely insecure about putting on eyeshadow. I got these sticks and I said, well, I'm going to learn how to use them. And I did. And the reason why I went viral with them pretty early on, the reason why those eyeshadows, I the eyeshadow sticks actually made me feel beautiful, like I knew how to put eyeshadow on, and I was like, wow, if I could do that, I could do more. So
So I've actually followed you, Tara. I don't remember when I first started following you, to be honest. It probably was when you were posting GLP-1 content because I was on the same weight loss journey. But then I've also followed how you've just grown so much and you're selling different products and it's really exciting. Tell us, what is the difference between being an influencer and affiliate marketing?
So I think for me, I don't know if this is how everyone else would define the difference, but for me, the difference is I think with the influencers, they're not necessarily, or they didn't necessarily start out doing things like TikTok shop and attaching a link. They were just out there basically talking about products. They were influencing based on the size of their accounts, on that they influence that they had already earned in some other way. When you get someone like an Alex Earl or a Michaela,
Mhm.
whereas affiliate marketing, it's anyone can do it. You don't have to have a large following to do it.
Yeah, it's usually you have influencer, you're getting paid based on your exactly your audience size, what you will produce, the type of traffic and volume that you'll send. And there's contracts involved. Whereas affiliate, you can have affiliate links to so many different programs, Amazon, TikTok, so many brands individually can have links. And just like I created an Amazon, I became an Amazon affiliate myself because usually you do have to have some kind of a core following to apply and get accepted, just like TikTok Shop and Amazon. But once you do, um, I started using it because I like sharing links of products that I buy with my friends and family, and I'm getting such a small return. But when I send them a link, like, here's what I bought on Amazon, then, I'm earning a small amount from it. So why not?
So is it different if there's like a sponsored post? Like, on TikTok, if you do a post on a product and then the product sees it and then they do a sponsored post, that's different, right?
But that isn't necessarily an influencer type post. I get a lot of sponsored posts. If I go through, I'll see a lot of my posts are sponsored. That just means that we get an ad code, and you can either have your mass authorization ad code on where anyone can sponsor your post, or they can ask you for that ad code specifically. And that's when it would show up and say sponsored on TikTok.
Yeah, that just means that because I've done it too, where you're basically, they like your content and they now want to put some money behind it because they feel like it's really good content. So if you would agree to it, they're going to use your content to run ads. The difference is that on some of the sponsored posts on Instagram, for example, will be where it's in partnership, where they've paid you, I'm going to pay you $5,000 to create some posts that are going to be in your feed and on stories. And they're really relying on whether the audience is actually authentic and engaged, and they're going to get some return on investment. But affiliate marketing, to Tara's point, you don't have to have that following. It's really just about sharing the things that you love with your link. Yeah, and it becomes pretty
There is
lucrative.
like an added
Do
layer though, because on TikTok, I've had retainers where I get paid $1,000 to post 30 videos in a month or whatever amount of videos they've asked for. Plus, I get the to attach the link as well. So there's like a little bit of you can combine it a little bit too.
Yep. So then it was in 2024, you said, where your husband became
Correct.
immobilized. Was
Yes,
it?
he has a rare disease that had progressed to a point where he can no longer walk. I couldn't take him out of the house. I couldn't go out of the house because he couldn't be alone. I had to figure out something at
Yes,
home.
that was must have been, yeah, pretty difficult. And you're working full time and you're like, how do I earn a little bit extra money online? So what was it that what moment did you decide, okay, I'm just going to give this a try, and saw that it picked up with success? Because I know that you started getting some decent PR from your following with GLP-1s too.
Yeah, so with that eyeshadow stick, I blame the eyeshadow stick always. With that eyeshadow stick going viral and making some money, I realized, wait, people bought this because I was so true. I was so authentic, and that's always been me. I was authentic in my GLP-1 information, and I am authentic in the content that I share now. So I think that it resonated, and I realized, wait a minute, if I continue to be me, if I continue to speak and talk and promote the way I am right now, I might actually have
Mhm.
something here. I might be able to do something for my family.
Now, where did you go tap in to learn resources? Or was it just like, because I know that you are so consistent with your posting between all your accounts, you have about 100,000 followers. And where was it that you learned to do all of this and say, hey, I'm going to go and post like every day, multiple times a day. And you're just so consistent about it.
Originally, I started watching people who would give tips for free, and eventually it became a big thing for these people to create organizations, courses with modules, and also communities. And I've become a big part of certain communities that I've really uh, learned everything from. I have one community in particular that where the two women who run that community, their names are Melina and Kylie, and everything I've learned from them. They have their own community. It's called 2739, and I get everything I need to know from them, and I learn it changes. TikTok Shop is changing all the time. Affiliate marketing in general is changing all the time. So when there's an update, when there's a change, when there's an algorithm shift, this is where I go to get my information.
And that's what I've had a lot of trouble with just growing on TikTok. At the very beginning, I followed Rachel Peterson. I basically did everything Rachel Peterson said to do. And I started on TikTok at least no, it's been about 4 years now. And so I just did everything she said to do. But then when I got to a certain point just in my business, I was too busy to keep up with these algorithm changes. And I mean, it really is constantly changing. And Rachel Peterson, I think, is now focusing on Instagram. So I need to look at these other folks because I don't have a go-to anymore.
Right. So that's in and the courses, the people who are instructing for TikTok Shop are very different than the people who instruct for TikTok virality. And there's a difference. In fact, one of the girls in that group once said, and it stuck with me, she said, do you want to be TikTok famous or do you want to be TikTok paid? And there's a difference.
And it's
Oh.
interesting because you would think that going viral regularly would send people to your links. So why is it different?
I think it does. If you are an influencer of the type of following that say Michaela has or Alex Earl, they are. If they see it in your hand, they don't have to have you say, I'm linking it below. You don't even have to link it below. They're going to go to your showcase and they're going to look and see, or they're going to go to your showcase and see if you have an outside link there that links all of your things together on different platforms, and they're going to go there. So yeah, so there's that. But I'm not. So when you're a TikTok Shop affiliate, the reason why being a TikTok Shop affiliate works and you don't need to have a following is because your videos are out there, people are clicking the links and they want to shop, they see it, they want to shop. But you don't have to have outside sources. You don't have to have a huge following because you're not going to show your videos aren't showing to your fans. They're not showing to your fans. They're not showing like fans sounds like a silly word. Your followers, like they're not showing to your followers. Like Alex Earl, her fans are watching and they're going to just hang on her every word. For someone like me, they're going to listen to what I say if I'm giving a realistic review of something and they're going to say, oh, she linked it below. They're not going to take the time to go to my showcase. They might, but more than likely, they just want it right there. They want it easy. And that's the kind of followers that you're really relying on TikTok.
Oh, so that's where like, yeah, I've heard because on my personal TikTok, I grew it to, because Jeanette was trying to start one the other day and she's like, why can't I add links? I'm like, well, because for a new TikTok account, you
You
need to
have 30
have
followers.
5,000 followers to start, where you can become one, or you can get invited early if you have like 1,000 or more. Mine was about like 1,300 when I finally got accepted. But I told Jeanette to get that acceptance, I was engaging every single day like crazy. I was posting consistently, but more than posting consistently, I was engaging on other people's stuff, like really authentically. It was a lot of showing up to get accepted
I've
early.
done
And it
that
is
A lot.
crazy how
on one of my
it's
backups.
crazy how much
Sorry.
that's another question I have for you. So it's crazy how much TikTok has also changed because when I first opened an account, I think I grew to 2,000 followers without posting a single video. I just had like a profile photo, and I think TikTok was going so crazy that I don't know, maybe if your contacts, I don't know what those followers were. Maybe they're bots. I don't know. But I never had to worry about, oh, I need to get to this many to go live or this or that. It just was easier. So yeah, now trying to grow another account, it's like, all right, this is different.
I also think the amount of people on TikTok now is so dramatically higher, especially because of TikTok Shop. Anyone can make money online. It used to be you had to be one of these famous influencers to make money online, and now that's just simply not the case.
Right.
So tell us why you have multiple accounts, because I have noticed that. I've seen your other account show up in my feed. I'm like, do I need to be doing this? What's going on?
So I multiple accounts because my main account I don't do a whole lot of TikTok shop on because I have followers there who followed me for my GLP-1 content, which or my mom content, like my humor. And I didn't want to mix the two up too much. And I do some on there because I do legitimately love my products and want to talk about them, even with my followers. But that's really my followers account, if that makes sense. Go and the other accounts were just backup accounts I started because they say if you multiple accounts, one account may perform while another account isn't performing. And I've noticed I have two accounts that I focus on. The other accounts I have them. I have TikTok Shop on them. I don't focus on them, but they're there because TikTok Shop is a fickle friend, and you could lose your account, and I would never want to be in a position to not have access to make that money.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the M2 and TikTok's going to change and all that?
So I think it comes from being Gen X, but I am a big believer if one door closes, another one will open. So I'm not super worried. Yes, there would be a hit for sure. But something else will change. You know, when they thought that TikTok was shutting down in January, which it did for 14 hours, I did get ahead of time affiliate links from a lot of brands that wanted to work with me. They said, hey, we know that it might shut down, so we want to give you, we want to make you an affiliate, like an ambassador. So here's a link with your information, and I could still continue to sell that way. And I've made some sales even through those affiliate.
It would just be that much harder for you though, where you have to then go and put it in the link tree and, because Instagram doesn't do the links unless it's in stories, it makes it that
It
much
is a
harder.
lot harder. And I have one link in particular that I talk about on other social media, but just because I use their products so much. And I think I've made like 4 sales from that link because it's not TikTok.
Wow. So tell me about, I'm like so curious about your day because even keeping up with everything with the podcast and my other brands that I'm working on building, it's a lot. And then being a single mom, and then you have a disabled husband and you have 2 kids and you work a full-time job. Like, I'm like, Tara shows up like no matter what. Do you block out your time within your day? Like, I'm going to do a bit of this in the morning or midday. Like, I'm curious about what your schedule is and what keeps you
So
motivated.
I'm one of the most unorganized people. I'm actually working on organizing myself better so that I can have a steady stream of knowing what to expect at what time. But my job is very self-motivated. So I don't know if that's the right word, but I really make my own hours, but I also work around the clock. I don't have, even on my days off, which are Saturday and Sunday, I'm not really off. My staff needs me. So I am able to carve out time in every day. So I start my job in the morning, and from, 8 until 11, it's strictly work. I'll already have videos ready to go, so I could just take 2 seconds to like just post the videos from my drafts. And after that, that's when I start filming. Most of my main account, my main shop account, it's really just me getting ready, and I talk about what I'm doing as I do it. My backup account,
Just to make it easy.
yeah, so my backup account is what I call my BOF account, which is bottom of the funnel, which is mostly like selling the sale. And like yesterday, I just was like, all right, I've got time right now. And I made like 20 videos in an hour. And I just posted all 20 of those videos
Wow.
in an hour. I mean, very little editing because it's just really there, this is the sale. Here you go. There's the link. So those are very, very,
And are you creating like spreadsheets for it and keeping things organized, or you're
you
not
know what I
even there
do?
yet?
Screenshots. When I
Uh-huh.
go into my showcase every morning before I'm out of bed, and I look and see
Mhm.
what is having a good sale that day, I screenshot it so that I don't have to go back to my showcase. I could just go to my photos and say, okay, you know, what am I going through today?
Oh,
Like, what am I making videos on? So, and usually it's a lot of the stuff. Like right now, there's a big campaign going on. It's called the Deals for You Days. So I know what's on sale, and I know what's selling.
oh.
And I've learned, like I said, with the communities, I've learned a lot. So I know what's selling for me. I analyze all my content, and I see what sold the day before. If that sold the day before, then that's what I'm filming today, regardless. Whether it's on sale still or not, I'm filming it because it's selling for me. So to that extent, here's where my organization comes in. I'll be laying in bed, my husband will be trying to sleep, and I will be posting my videos into a transcriber. It transcribes the audio. I post that into ChatGPT along with my stats on those videos. and ChatGPT will tell me what's working. It'll tell me, what like what worked well, like what converted well, and then help me create ideas going forward, and help me
Oh,
to
wow.
really like know where I make my money. And that's what I focus on.
That's amazing. And I met you because with Orderly Med, so I'm partners and founders in that. And I was trying to find somebody to come on over to us to work with us. And I was like, wow, her story is amazing. You have, like, you've gotten press and everything like that. And you are our first affiliate. And it was so cool to see that. Like, as soon as you got your affiliate link up, what did you have, like 20 or something orders the first day or something like that?
Yeah, because I had a big following from the other company that I was with, and as soon as I mean, I've built the trust over time, and when I said, "Hey, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going," they jumped ship and they went with me, because I don't lead people astray. I don't lie to people. You'll see even on my videos, on my shop videos, I will be very honest, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. If I'm obligated to make a video, I make a video.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important takeaway for anybody who's considering doing this is that you don't need to take the time to show up perfectly or your hair done or makeup. I mean, it's really just as you are, and people are buying because it's like you and your own identity and your personality. Like, oftentimes you're recording in the car, which you've always said that you've seen more success with those too, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool that so many people can start doing this and they don't need really anything special. It's like, yeah, over time, the better quality camera on your phone and the lighting and all that matters. It does help, but to get started, it really just is showing up as you are. It's finding items that are in your house that you can go around and say, like, okay, what can I talk about today? And just showing up as your authentic self. And it's about building
When I
relationships.
first started, there was a lot of people out there talking about how women in the beauty industry can't make it on social media because of the way they look, because of their age, because they have fine lines and all of those things. And they complained about how this company ignored them and this company ignored them. And there is a lot of truth to the fact that the companies don't do a lot for their older affiliates that they might do for other affiliates like travel and parties. But it's also true that if that's important, if you're looking to be TikTok famous, not TikTok paid, you know? So for me, a greater gauge of success has been the things I've received from these companies. Like, to me, when I'm getting emails from like major brands saying, "Hey, we want your address, we want to send you PR," I'm like, that's the gauge of success to me. They don't listen. I say this all the time to people. I will probably never be invited on a Tarte trip, but Tarte sends me free makeup almost weekly.
You never know.
Well,
You never
listen, if
know. Let's
Tarte's
put it out
listening,
there,
I'd be
Sarah.
happy
It's
to go, but it's
hello,
not what my
Tarte. We love you
expectations
too,
are.
Jeanette and I. Send us all the Tarte.
It's not my expectations, but I get invited to other things. I've been invited to the beach waivers office. I'm going to an event tomorrow at TikTok headquarters. It's my second event at TikTok headquarters. That's really exciting to me. Those are the things that motivate me and excite
Mhm.
me. I don't need to go to Bora Bora or I'm not that it wouldn't be nice. I'm not and there are they say that older women don't get invited to these things. I want to say that there are women over 40 that have been invited. I've not seen anyone over 50, but I do see, and that is kind of sad to me. That's the one thing that bothers me is when I see people referred to as mature women and they're 35 plus, because there's a huge difference in older women
They're not.
and mature women. Like, yeah, over 35 you may not be a demographic for a makeup brand, but you're not a mature woman who is, I mean, I know a woman on here that's 60 years old and she's doing such fantastic stuff.
And really invited.
She does a whole lot more than I do. And she gets invited, a lot
Mhm.
of brands invite her to their facility, and she does lives with them and things like that. And so she does get some stuff, but not the ones that you see that are so publicized.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long do you think it really took to grow, like, the largest account that you have? Did you have to post, like, I know you mentioned you will do 20 videos a day, but when you started, was it that many, or you just were consistent about it?
So
What's your
the
tips
largest
there?
account I have is the one that I really started posting on for the GLP-1. That's kind of my everyday
Uh-huh.
account. And It's funny because I have a very unusual story in that when I used to post silly little things on there here and there, like everybody else, right? Then when I decided to do this
Yeah.
journey, I decided to make, I was at about 20,000 followers before that. And then I decided to do this weight loss journey and I made a video with a trending sound and I don't know what happened. I don't know why this happened, but it was the very first video I made about my weight loss journey and it went wildly viral. I hit a million views in like a week. And
Yes.
I
Uh-huh.
got another
I
20,
remember that
30,000
one.
followers just from that in about 2 weeks, a month. So
Wow.
that really is what threw me over the edge with getting followers. Like, and then I feel like once you hit 50,000 followers, you hit 75,000. And then I crawled for a long time, but I wasn't posting on this account as much because I was doing TikTok
Uh-huh.
shop. So I've gotten back to posting more on that account, just my like silly stuff, the me things.
Are you in the creator fund for that account?
I was in the creator fund. I left it and I just went back in because it's just another way
So
to
explain
generate.
that a little
So
bit.
with the creator fund, it's particular, but you have to have over 10,000 followers. You have to have a certain amount of likes within a certain period of time. I'm not really sure what all the requirements are, but I knew that I met them. And I do get a lot of videos that go viral on that account. Not like when I tell a story, I'm a storyteller. I've been a storyteller my entire life. I've always been a storyteller. When I was a little kid, they put me in front of people and they made me tell stories because, I think I'm funny. And so I was like, well,
I think
thank
you
you.
are.
So I was like, you know what? If I can do a 60-second story, I can do a 61-second story and I can tell my story. And like I made a story today. It'll probably do well because of the way I started it. And I've learned so much that even if it's not a shop video, I know how to say something to gain that curiosity to make them stay around. So I started my video with I was just banned from, and it later in the video you find out I banned myself, right? But I know that will hook people in. In the first 10 minutes it had like 150 views, that's pretty good for me, in the beginning. I usually start slow. So I'm going on a cruise again and I was like, you know what? I could do cruise tours, I could do room tours. I was like, you know what? I and so with Creator Fund, you make money based on your views and not every view is qualified. So I don't remember what all the
Oh.
qualifiers are, and I'm not really going to pay attention to it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's just the way it goes. It's just another way to have a revenue stream.
What about like all the groups? Because I've joined some of them too, where like when I was trying to become accepted into the affiliate program and people are joining all these like lives with add me as your friend, add me as your friend, and it just becomes so overwhelming. What do you think
So
about that?
they frown on follow lives, and I will say that to get the
Mhm.
first 10,000 followers I had on my big account, I absolutely did follow lives. And then I did do it to get
Yeah.
some of my backup accounts onto TikTok Shop. But once I got onto TikTok Shop, I didn't do that anymore. But I needed to get those accounts on TikTok Shop. It
Yeah.
really does mess with your account. But if you're doing TikTok Shop, I'm not sure that it messes with it all that much, honestly. Because you're not looking to go viral. Well, not that you're not looking to go viral, but you're not looking to go famous. You're looking where you need followers who really relate to you. If it's shop, it's shop. It's a lot of people would disagree with me on that, by the way. But I just feel
Yeah.
like it's not that
Yeah.
big a deal. I don't recommend it because I think that TikTok could cancel your account. They could shut you down if they found you in involved in fake engagement. They could shut you down. But you know, does it work? Yeah.
Yeah, and they really do reward authenticity. So I would love to know. There's trolls everywhere. Like, how do you deal with it? And tell us some stories. You have to have some really
Oh my
good
gosh.
ones.
So I used to get like I'd be fighting back. I still will clap back if I think it'll make a good video. I I don't clap back for the sake
Uh,
of like speaking my mind or being mean back. I clap back if I think it'll be funny because I enjoy that. But I get told all the time. I have a video actually right now that is going insanely viral on my main account that is a shop video and I basically it was like a video where I was like, I don't care what people think. I'm going to use this because I was using Rare Beauty highlighter, their illuminator, which I love wearing it today. And I got so much criticism from young people about how I'm too old to wear that makeup, that I'm not doing it right, that I shouldn't be using Rare Beauty, all this stuff. It was really probably like 10 and 11-year-old kids that were saying it, so like Gen
yeah.
Alpha. but I made a whole video about how I don't care what Gen Z has to think about me. They are losing their minds because they're like, Gen Z doesn't care what makeup you wear. And that's true. It wasn't Gen Z, it was Gen Alpha. But if I had said Gen Alpha and not Gen Z, that video wouldn't be going viral. And if you look up the stats on that particular bundle, I'm one of the top sellers because that video went viral.
And sometimes you can pick up some of that draft. Yeah, like TikTok was very much like, the place for 20-year-olds. And even when I joined it and Jeanette Reddy was on it doing so well with her law firm, I'm like, oh my God. But then you start building and you find your community, and there's a lot of women, and it is becoming so much more popular now, which I
And
love.
just in the last,
The more you put yourself out there, the more there's going to be some haters. So I do think people just need to be prepared for that. And for me, like I talk about divorce. So there's a lot of angry men and just
A
people
lot.
who just think divorce is horrible and oh, you tear up families. I just ignore them.
you
There's always going to be a hater, and I just picture them as angry men living in their mom's
That's
basement.
I say that all
And
it's so funny. If someone's really nasty to me, I'll be like, "Hey, listen, your mom called. She wants you to clean up the big gulp cups." She said, "Enough with the 7-Eleven." I do that all the time. Like that's like my standard go-to line because that's what it is. These are like either young boys or men with nothing going for them in their mom's basement
yep,
eating Big Macs and drinking Slurpees. So
exactly.
So Tara,
I don't take it to heart.
Mm.
I was like, I'm so curious, like, where does that confidence come from within you? So, like, tell us about your weight loss journey yourself. Like, how much did you
So
lose?
people think that my confidence came from the weight loss journey. It's not about
Hmm.
losing 140 pounds and being thin or feeling beautiful or anything like that. For me, it comes from the accomplishment because I've never been able to accomplish it, mostly because the odds were stacked against me, which we all know now that that's the case with GLP-1s. They work because
Hmm.
it's a medical condition, but it was the sense of accomplishment of sticking with something. I can tell you today is one of my most confident days because I went on the scale yesterday. Last night I stepped on the scale for the first time in 6 weeks. I said to myself, I'm not weighing myself for 6 weeks and I want to see how I do. And I said, in 6 weeks, if I gain a few pounds, I can lose that easily, but it's worth the experiment. And I got on that scale and I was the exact same weight, the exact same weight. I didn't count a calorie. I just used the good habits I have, which are not always good. They're mostly good. And I continue taking my medicine. I'm
Hmm.
actually on a lower dose in the last 2 weeks than I've been on. And that's where the confidence come from. When I know that, what somebody says to me about being ugly or old, it doesn't mean anything because I can look at myself and I can go, yeah, but I just lost 140 pounds and I'm keeping it off for 4 years. And I don't even have to work that hard,
Right.
And I don't mean to say that I don't work hard. It's just that it becomes so much easier to do the hard work when you have your body working with you and not against you.
I love that. So, I would love to know what's your why, like your bigger why. Is it, and what do your kids think about this journey that you're on too?
My kids are my why. My son would hate for me to say that to you. Like, don't talk about me. Don't, this is cringe. This is cringe. Don't talk about it. My daughter, though, being able to teach her to be confident in her body and in her everything about herself, like knowing that you can't take anything anyone says too seriously. And I would like to say I've done a really good job because nothing anyone says to her bothers her ever. She is easily the most confident and
Oh,
she is the kindest person I know. She is my husband is really, really kind. His mother was really, really kind. My daughter definitely got her genes there, not from me. And she is the kindest, nicest person, but she's also confident enough that no one can walk all over her. She's tough. She's tough. But she's my
I
why.
love
My kids
that.
are my why in general, but she's really my why because she's a woman.
Yeah,
So
she
have your
is.
kids, because are they teenagers?
12 and 14, almost 14.
So the 14, have they ever thought about getting on social
He
media
is on
and
social
having their own
media.
account?
He has a secret account I'm not allowed to share with anyone. It's based on history and
Oh,
politics. Yeah, he doesn't have a large
wow.
following, but he has a large engagement. The engagement he has, his
Interesting.
videos are wildly viral. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but no one's allowed to know.
Is it like On YouTube?
It's on TikTok, and he had another account, but he gets badly bullied by kids, and so he had to change all that. And so now it doesn't have his face, it doesn't have anything that identifies him, and it is so interesting, his account. Really, really interesting. If you like history or
Really?
politics, his account is incredibly interesting. As a result, he had to create a Discord where he now has people in his Discord that chat about history and politics.
That's
Very
incredible.
cool.
So do you feel like he was influenced by you then?
Yeah, because definitely because he's learned about social media, he's learned to be confident about social media and to not take what people say seriously. And the interesting thing about him, the interesting thing about him is that I think that most of the people who watch him and talk to him don't realize his age. I think they think he's an adult. And he's not meeting up with them outside, so I don't really care.
Right. I love that. So what are some of the brands that would be like your dream brands to
The
partner with?
very first brand I got PR from is my favorite brand ever, which is Tarte, and they are easily the kindest, nicest company. I know that people give them some bad press over like their trips and stuff, but the way I see it is they're a
Mhm.
private company. They have the right to do what they want to do with their money. But I am
Yeah.
treated very well by them. I am treated so well. I would never in my like just the things I get, like never in my wildest dreams would I have ever wanted a Labubu doll. They're a lot of money for a lot of nothing. I have a Labubu.
See videos
I
of
have a
them. Like,
Labubu
what
doll
is
now
that?
though. I have a Labubu doll because Tarte sent me one, you know. Trying to think that, but they send me so many beautiful things, not just makeup to promote. They've sent me gifts like the Labubu doll.
Why
And I'm
not?
trying to think, they just sent me something recently, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but I was like, what is this? Like they send nice things. So I've gotten like cameras, not cameras, lights, like fan lights for my phone, cool stuff, plus a ton of makeup that help me make more sales. And the commission I make,
Yeah.
they give good commission, they give great makeup. And, it's just, they sent my daughter's class when my daughter was graduating, she graduated sixth grade, and the PR rep gave me 30 lip glosses to give to all the girls in her grade. Like, this is the kind of kind things they do. My dream after that, though, I've gotten a lot of PR from a lot of different companies, but I was like, I really want Rare Beauty. Like, that was I hadn't gotten from them, I hadn't heard from them. And then this year on my birthday, coincidentally, they didn't know, I got PR from Rare Beauty. They emailed me and asked for my address so that they can send me PR.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's like, but like, as like, to be hired as an influencer or creator, like I call myself a creator because I'm not really an influencer. I think they're different. But if I were to be hired by a company to be paid, um, I guess any makeup brands, I love them all. So I don't promote what I don't like, but they don't really, but like, yeah, if I could get paid to like do advertisements for them, I'd love that. But that's just like on TikTok, that's not how like you do it. And even if TikTok weren't here, I still have an affiliate link for Tarte, and so like I could still sell it other ways. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I suppose that maybe in the future that's something that could happen. I don't know if they do that or not. I don't, and I'm not at that level. The people I think that would get those kind of deals are people who are not just TikTok Shop affiliates, but also on the influencer track. I'm sure there are big
Right.
influencers that get money from companies like that. I'm just not that person.
Sure. What advice would you give for, somebody in their 40s and up who are just like, I want to get started? Like, walk us through what advice you
Well,
might
it's
give
interesting
them.
because I
Let's say
just
they had 30 TikTok followers.
Right. Well, so I just started a
What would you say,
series on
Jeanette?
this on my account, my Call Me Tara J account. I just started a series about that called Just the Tip because that's I think really important. I think that knowing like not knowing that you have to start somewhere, right? So
Hmm.
the thing that my takeaways are just do it. Like post. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even have to have the right lighting or the right cameras. Start with what you have. Start with what you have because you can get there. You can get to the place where you can afford the good lighting or the good cameras, the good microphone. You can get there. You can, and in TikTok, and also I would say consistency is really important. I've learned that consistency, whether or not, if you can only do 2 videos a day, just make sure you do those 2 videos a day because the TikTok algorithm understands you. And if they see you showing up and doing what you set out to do, and if that's 2 videos a day, then that's 2 videos a day, but they seeing you showing up for yourself, and they see you showing up to do the things you decided to do. So be consistent. And and if you're doing TikTok shop, if you get into TikTok shop, then you don't have to buy stuff. There's always stuff around your house that you can find on TikTok shop, and you can
Yes.
promote that. And don't buy anything until you sell something.
I started doing that when I didn't realize I couldn't promote stuff yet. And yeah, my body wash, and I had like Lumi deodorant, and yeah, I was going around my house, and I'm like, I have so much crap that I then found in the TikTok shop that I can truthfully say I love and make videos
But
on.
keep doing that. And I think I told you on your post, if you are not in TikTok shop, you can still tag the company and get seen from them that way,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I think is really
That's a
important. I
good tip.
post on Instagram, I post stories on Instagram, I post reels on Instagram, on YouTube. I never post a product, even if it doesn't have a link to sell something. I never post the product without posting the name of the company. I tag them. I always tag. So if I post about Starbucks, I'm tagging Starbucks.
Yeah, that it gets you better recognized in their eyes. So when you mention consistency and like even if it's 2 times a day, do you feel as though the same time of the day matters? Have you seen that? Like, oh, I always post these at 8 or 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. like consistently the day, or it hasn't
Not
been?
with shop. I don't see any kind of consistency with shop in that respect. I could post 10 videos at once and they'll perform the same way. Um, with my other
Okay.
account, like my Call Me Tara J, where I talk just about life or whatever, and I'm looking for the views there more than anything else.
Hmm.
I haven't paid attention to it recently, but I know in the past there were definitely times where my videos did better if I posted them at a certain time. Now I don't pay attention to it so much because that really only matters for that first day. Going forward, it's not really going to matter because most videos are going to pick up momentum later on.
That's
I've
something I've
seen,
noticed that's new. It used to be the videos would take off right away, and then if they hadn't taken off in a couple hours, forget it. Now it's like I have to wait overnight to see if a video is going to do
Yeah,
well.
so on my shop account, my main shop account, I could be sitting at 30 views all day, all day. And then 3 days later, I'm at 3,000. It doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason. It just picks up later.
Mhm.
yeah, and when you do that, I've also heard too, like from somebody else that I know, she just posted like a random like soap. It was one of those trends like TikTok made me buy it. And she showed the product. Her face wasn't in it, nothing. And it wasn't right away that it took off. It was maybe 6 months down the road or something. But it made the company like a lot of money in sales. I want to say like $100,000 in sales just from her one video that she made the company. And she made, I forget, the numbers are going to be completely wrong, but I think she ended up earning around like $10,000 from it. But just this one video that took off. So she said, I think it's like you leave the rights on or something like that. Or what is that? Where you're allowing them permission to use it in case it does go well
Yeah,
later
so it's
on.
like a mass authorization because now TikTok uses primarily something called max GMV. And that's where when you post a video, if you have your mass ad authorizations on, it could be picked up. And if it's picked up, you'll see that it's picked up because it'll say like ads plan. That does not mean that they're putting sponsored money behind it. It just means that you've been put into a queue and your video might get picked up to have that sponsored money behind it. So you always want to have that on because, again, I'm going to quote the community I'm part of, but scared money doesn't make money. So a lot of people worry about that mass authorization because they're worried because commissions sometimes drop or they can take your code or whatever they're afraid of. But the bottom
Right.
line is if they sponsor an ad and you now make sales and okay, your commission went down to $2 and without that GMV max, your commission might have been $4, but your video may not have gotten the views and it may not have gotten the viewing. Therefore, so you may not have gotten those sales at all. At least this time you're getting some sales. So I kind of subscribe to that. I will say I don't make a lot of
Yeah.
money from ads. Which was surprising to me. I went through it to see because I get a lot of requests for my ad codes, and I almost every
Yeah.
video I make gets picked up because I know the formula. I'm not great, but I know the formula,
Uh-huh.
and um, but most of my sales are organic, which is kind of surprising.
Wow. Are you comfortable sharing like from an affiliate you've made approximately X dollars or right
Well,
around?
what's typical even? Just like
Yeah.
what can someone expect once they start doing, well, I guess how many hours a week do you spend?
I always try
Yeah.
and think about
And
that.
then,
I want to say I devote, I mean, I'm not doing it all straight time, but total about 2 hours a day it goes into content, whether it's maybe even 3 hours a day, if because you're filming, you're editing, you're posting it, you're responding to engagement or, or trying to be engaged with people. But also, I'm checking stats, I'm researching, I am, analyzing my own stats, and so
and that's what I think people don't understand is like there's more
there's a
to
lot
it. It's
more.
not just throwing up these videos. Like you're paying attention to these stats and really looking at them and then tweaking your content based on
I
them.
see a lot of videos where you'll see a woman going, TikTok shop is a scam. I joined and I haven't made any money. I can go into their account, and I do this all the time. And, and sometimes I want to say to them, like, I can help you. But, which is why I started my series that I started. But I go into the accounts.
Start charging people to like, hey, I'll do an
Eventually,
audit of
yeah,
your account.
I
Or yeah.
definitely that is like a direction that I want to head down. That's something I'm working on, but that's like a process. I probably will start auditing accounts because I'm really good at telling other people what they need to do. But no, like I can go into their account and I can say, well, I can tell them why they're not making any money. Right. I can see it in their videos. I can hear it in their videos. There's so much wrong with their videos. And I didn't teach this to myself. I learned this by watching other people, by studying.
Mhm.
There's a lot of work that goes into this. It is not just getting accepted into TikTok shop and making a video and saying like, hey, and I see this all the time, and it's always the people who complain that they don't make any money and that TikTok shop is a scam, whatever. They'll be like, oh, I got these paper towels and I love these paper towels. They're the best paper towels ever. No one's buying that. No one cares. You know what I mean?
So then for people who have figured it out, then what is the typical kind of income that someone could expect? Doing, let's say, 10, 15 hours a
I will
week.
say this, that TikTok shop it's variable. So I can have months where I make 5 figures and I can have months where I barely get $1,000. I
Mhm.
like to say, and I like to focus on the fact that I enjoy doing it so that on the months that aren't good, I'm
Yeah.
still happy and content because there are plenty of those, right? And then on the months that
Yeah.
are good, I'm like, yay, it's all working. So I will like, so I want to say that I was averaging. Things have changed a lot since the ban. My account changed a lot in terms of,
Mm.
sorry, in terms of how much money I make. I've seen a definite difference. So I've had to study more. I've had to restructure a little bit. I created that backup account and started doing a different style specifically on that account to kind of bring those sales up. So now between the two accounts, I'm still making about the same amount of money that I was. And I'd like to, I always say I average between $3,000 and $5,000 a month on TikTok shop. And which is not like crazy money, but it's good money.
Yeah.
And
And that's just that
For
because then
10
there's
to
still
15 hours a
other
week. Yeah,
programs.
that's great.
right for me, that's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Last year, because I had some really good months last year between actually this year too. I mean, obviously I didn't do my taxes yet, but this year too was great between doing the affiliate marketing for the GLP-1s and TikTok shop. Last year, I actually doubled my yearly income. So I did as much
Awesome.
money on social media as I did from my job. And that job money includes
Wow.
I get profit sharing. So it's not just like my straight salary. With my profit sharing, I actually made that same money. It'll probably be the same this year. I make a lot of money with GLP-1s from January through April, like a year's salary in those 3 months.
I was going to ask if TikTok shop goes crazy right before
So
Christmas. Like, do you see a huge
Black
uptick?
Friday weekend.
Tiffany, we got to get 1,000 followers by like end of October.
Black Friday weekend, Thursday through Sunday last year, I had a video two on the same product go viral, and those
What product was it?
Tarte BB cream. And again, it went viral because I absolutely fell in love with it. And it was the only foundation I was willing to use for a long time. And it was the only one that I felt confident in. And I started talking about that. Didn't take off, right? I posted those videos in August. End of November, they went viral and I made $11,000 in a weekend. in commission. In commission.
Whoa.
And you didn't change anything. The video was
The
already just
video is from
made in August.
August.
You didn't go back and
From August.
you didn't re-engage, repost,
No,
nothing?
it just
Was there a sale?
Wow.
it didn't
Like
go
that
on
day? Was
sale.
there like
It
a
didn't go on sale. It didn't.
That's
I don't
insane.
know. I
Wow.
didn't.
You really just
You
never
don't.
know.
And I have a video from October, that I still make a sale on at least two sales on that video a week. The BB cream
So what you're
stopped.
saying is my mascara that I made like
You could
nails
still,
on,
yeah, I could still take
It
off,
can
Tiffany.
still
though.
a
It
chance for
can.
me.
So I'm trying to think. The video I have right now that's making the
I made like
most
$24
sales.
total.
No, that's actually good though. The video I have right now making the most sales, making sales every single day right now is from April. It's nothing that I've made in the last. It's in fact, it's really rare, and I
Wow.
think most TikTok Shop affiliates will tell you this. It is incredibly rare to make money on a video you posted that day. I had it happen once last week, and I was like, I couldn't
Oh.
believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, I sold something. I sold something on that video in the first like hour and a half I posted it. That's never happened to me. Never.
So I think that's really great advice. So it's like when people are doing it, because even like when I got mine started, but then I had to move in over and work on the podcast. It's like I kept meaning to, and I still will, like post every day and go at it. But it can be a little like let down when you don't see the results. But to know that you're putting in the work, and it might just appear a couple months down the
Well, you know
road,
what?
and to still
Think
stick
of
with
it in terms of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
If you start bodybuilding and you have no muscle tone, right? You are doing the work
Right.
probably 3-4 months before you actually start to see that definition begin. And it's the same thing. It's a buildup. You have to get to the point where your muscles are showing, they don't show right away.
Yeah.
But you have to be consistent. I think that's a big thing, is you just have to be consistent. And the more videos out there, the more likely it is that one will eventually go crazy and take
I
off.
never post a video and think, how many am I going to sell today? I always post a video and say, I think one day this will sell some product. That's why I have a separate account for bottom of the funnel. Bottom of the funnel, it's like a part of a marketing, concept. I'm sure, Tiffany, that you understand top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel.
Yep.
So I have an account that is almost entirely bottom of, in fact, it's entirely bottom of the funnel. I literally only talk about sales. On that account, I will usually start making sales within a few days because it's all bottom of the funnel and I'm
Wow.
selling the sale, and that sale is temporary. But on my other account, I always think of that as more of a top of funnel, more of an influencer style sales account, even though it's not really being an influencer, but a little bit less salesy and more about what I'm doing. And that account will always take time to click. It always takes time to sell something.
Sure.
And now, what's the reason for not doing both types of videos on the same account?
Personal preference. I do some bottom of the funnel on
Okay.
my major account, on my main shop account. I will do some bottom of the funnel. There's like a huge sale going on right now. So if it's a product that I love and I've talked about anyway, I will say, oh, by the way, this skincare. So it's a skincare that I love, right? And they have this bundle sale. It's incredible. And so I will do an occasional bottom of the funnel video on my main shop account. I just don't concentrate on that. I like to separate it. Plus, I feel like, so for me, when we talked about money, I feel like having those two separate accounts, one is kind of the big picture and the other one is instant gratification.
That makes sense. So if somebody doesn't, because I talk to a lot of people, and there's still a lot of friends of mine who are not on TikTok. They're like not interested in getting on it, but they do prefer Facebook and Instagram, for example. What are some other things that they can do if they have a big Facebook following or prefer Instagram? What should they do?
So I personally post all my TikTok shop links on there. If they can get into TikTok shop, they can have a showcase. They can just send their links over. They don't even have to make videos. So if you have a showcase, right? Then you go to your showcase, you open up the product that you like, and then there's an arrow to share copy link. You can just start posting those links. Now, if they don't want to deal with TikTok at all and they're not on TikTok,
Yeah, some people are like anti, like I don't want to join TikTok, I don't want to go in there, but I'm still interested in this. Can
so there
I
are other
promote being an
platforms.
affiliate?
There's like LTK, I think it's like to know or something like that.
Like it to
Yeah.
know it.
So
Mhm.
LTK, there's Amazon influencer. You can find those products. I have an Amazon influencer account. I don't really do much on there, but I will if there's like a really good like product that I'm loving, I might post a video on Instagram and add that link. And I just don't, for whatever reason,
Mhm.
I just don't do well with it, you know. But I will post my
Yeah.
TikTok shop links, and people go into my TikTok and they go and they buy it. And I post those TikTok shop links. I post them on YouTube. I post them. There's also something called I think it's called Many Chat, and it's an automatic
Yes.
response. So like I have it set
Yeah.
up where they DM me or they like they write a comment, and then my thing is automatically set up to respond with the link. Now a lot of people will also put their Amazon links in that Many Chat. They'll say, "Oh, if you're on
Yes.
TikTok, use this, but if you're not, you want to do it from Amazon, you could do this." So people do that, and I think that's great. You can do that on Instagram and Facebook. I think you
Yeah.
can't do that with YouTube though.
I know
Yeah.
one of the Orderly affiliates makes really good money on YouTube.
Oh, really?
And she does like long
Yes.
form videos, which I have not figured out. But yeah, she does very well. I actually, when I met her on that trip and was like, hey, can you coach me? We need to reach out to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, I would love to hear what she's.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her account. You know, and I don't talk a lot about weight loss anymore because TikTok has gotten so particular about it. So I do talk about it
Yeah.
on
Yep.
other accounts though, on like Instagram. I'll talk about it here and there, or on Facebook. You know, I just posted about this.
You should definitely do it on YouTube.
Right,
Mhm. Yeah,
right.
anytime I try to, like, talk about Jeanette and I losing weight, and I wanna promote it or do something with it on TikTok, immediately it gets
Right.
rejected, and I'm like,
You can't promote anything like that. I don't promote anyway. I won't promote any
"No."
kind of sales videos, but you can't promote anything with weight loss. You're not allowed to put money behind it. They're very, and the reason they're particular is because
Mhm.
if I were selling, let's say, a metabolic item that they have in their TikTok showcase, then as long as I follow the guidelines, it's okay. But if it's an outside link, I can't share the orderly link because they don't have any kind of control, you know, in terms of legal claims or
Mm.
anything like that. So instead, they just don't allow it. And those are the things that get shut
And
down.
there's so much scammy stuff that people are selling, like those stupid GLP-1 patches. They make me mad. I've actually
So
commented
mad.
on a few of those because it's like, don't tell people that this is anything like a GLP-1 medication, sticking
Fact,
a
it is
sticker on your
not
body.
like a GLP-1
It's not at
medication.
all.
There are
No,
supplements that are great. There are some supplements, they call it like nature's Zempic, and they have been great. Right,
berberine.
in conjunction with my GLP-1.
Yeah,
You know, I wouldn't say it's gonna have that effect if you're taking that on its own, you know? I
yeah.
can't say because I didn't stop taking my medication to know, but it didn't do enough for me to that I think makes me think it has any merit.
So, if you're a business owner and you want some other ideas to share some tips and tricks, Tara, what are some other ways that they can share? Like, if I'm a designer and I want to make money by sharing content that's already within my realm, like, how can I make money from sharing what types of content?
So I would say it really just depends on what you're able to do. So if you're selling a specific product, obviously you should have a TikTok and you should be demonstrating your product and you should be showing your product. If you have a business, you should be on TikTok, that's for sure. I work with a company that is a franchise and we treat head lice. And I talk to them all the time about how our online presence needs to be different. You know, you can't just have these formal videos that are so well made out, like they're generate like this, like a film almost, right? Like a commercial. You need it to be real. It has
Hmm.
to be real. It still has to be authentic. Even if you're a business, it has to be authentic. I cite this company all the time. People will get sick of me, but I use this as an example all the time. But Tarte, right? Watch their videos. They have their guy in a costume, there's Shape Tape guy in a costume. You know, they're talking about doing shots on Friday. Like it's not a commercial, right? Beach
Right.
Raver is another one that does some great videos. There's a ton, but I use those examples. And I've said that formal videos on TikTok are not going to fly. So you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Now, if
Right.
you,
Just
but
having fun.
exposure is everything. So we're a franchise, so we're owned by different companies. We're owned by different people. You know, each part of the country is owned by somebody different, right? So we're New York, metro area. And, so if I post about our brand, even though I'm not selling anything, because I'm selling our service, right? But I'm not selling our service. I'm just talking about our service, which
Hmm.
gets people to recognize us and know that we exist. But if I do it here in New York, somebody in New Mexico is going to get business off of that because they're going to say, so that exposure
Right.
is really important. So now let's say like Jeanette, you're a lawyer. You can't be an affiliate marketer for lawyer things on TikTok. You just can't do that. It would be like a conflict of interest, I'm sure, to earn money off of people who are watching your law content. I don't know. I'm assuming. But you can bring exposure to things that help, without an affiliate link. Or if, let's say, you were going to open a series of offices, you can, or franchise your brand, right? You can bring exposure to it. And exposure is really important, not just sales, right? So that exposure can lead to further sales. So I absolutely believe that every business needs to be on TikTok, and I tell that to anyone who listens, but I will also tell you that I tell everybody that someone in every house should be on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, there's just so much money to be made. And I think too, like, if for us with the holistic dose, so we'll put blog posts on our site, and I'll often link like, here's some of our products that we're using that we like, or books and things like that. So even if people don't have the TikTok Shop, and I know that you recommend it for everybody, but they could still embed links in that way too. Just support,
The community that I'm in that I love, right? So
Mhm.
they'll teach us about things like ManyChat or I'm trying to think of
Substack.
right things right, and they can, if they share a link with us, they'll earn money, but they're always very clear.
Yeah.
I'm sharing this because it's helpful. Yes, we will make a commission if you use our link, but our link is going to give you a discount, right? So, you
Right.
know, I'm not trying to like verbalize this, but even if you can't attach an affiliate link because it's not appropriate in your situation, bringing that exposure is super important. Fast Moss is another.
Yeah.
So like Fast Moss, you get all this data, right? So that's what I was looking for. That was the word I was looking for. They can share their Fast Moss link with us, but
Oh,
they'll earn money on us signing up. But if you don't want
okay.
to give that person that money, you could just go to Fastmoss and sign up by yourself, right? But that's what people will
Uh-huh.
do. You could bring exposure to the tools that you use, and even if you're not having an affiliate link, you're bringing exposure to something, and that's important. So
Definitely. So while we wrap up here, so what's one tip that you will give somebody who is considering getting started or has any interest in this?
do it. Just do it.
Do
Like,
it.
don't hesitate. There's nothing to my I have this conversation with my sister on a regular basis. She's like, I need to get the courage up. What courage? You don't need courage. Just do it. Just do it. Do
Yeah.
it. Just get on
Yeah.
there and do it.
I-
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Right.
And
Yeah.
probably don't overthink. Like Tiffany definitely overthinks. She'll be like, I spent 2 hours
Or
on this
more.
one TikTok video. I'm like, no, you cannot do that. That's just
I
too
don't do
much.
that.
That's a perfect example.
You know what videos sell?
I'm like recutting it, clipping it.
The
Yeah.
videos that sell are the ones I give almost no thought to.
I
Well,
know.
and that blew my mind that you said you created 20 in, was it 1 hour?
Right.
I
I
know.
could
She's my
maybe
model.
three.
Need a hook, right? So
She's my
you
model.
three you want the trifecta of hooks. Somebody coined that, not me. But you want a visual hook, you want a verbal hook, and you want a speaking hook. But once you have that hook and you have a basic idea of, I'm not going to get into a
Give us
whole
like
long
your
thing, but
go-to, and
but
or for the people who don't know what a hook
so a
is.
hook is what you're saying or what you're doing or what you're putting on screen that draws their attention in, right? So you want something on screen that's just a little bit different than what you're saying and you want to be doing something. My visual hook, it could be something as silly as picking your nose if it gets people to watch the video, right? I do things like I've done some silly things, I'm not going to lie, you asked what was on my head. It
Yeah,
it's
the
just a
headband.
visual hook. Like I have to put a headband on
Yeah.
anyway, so why not make it ridiculous, right? Um, but
Yeah.
People intentionally will pronounce things wrong
guilty,
so that they can get
guilty.
comments.
I have a video going viral
They're
because
like, "That's not how you say
I
that."
pronounced the word ethereal. I pronounced it ethereal, and I did it on purpose, and I went viral.
Actually,
So,
Jeanette,
okay, I have another example. So there was a guy who posted a video about the antipasto gate. Have you both been
Oh
following
yeah.
that? And he posted a video and he's a black guy, and the smoke alarm beeped in the video. And so someone put a comment saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe your smoke alarm beeped." And then I responded and said, "I didn't know this was a real thing." And he said he actually purposely does it to get people to comment.
Oh, I love
Like,
that.
I
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I responded and said, "That is brilliant, because here I am, engaging on his video because of that smoke alarm."
Because I've seen that one actually a bunch, because people will be like, "Oh my God, aren't you so annoyed that that's still going off by now?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I'm
seen
gonna use- I
videos
have
where
this
they
little
always
dog
have it going off. I
beepy
never
thing.
thought about that. That's brilliant.
I think it might be a strategy.
I'm
It
gonna do
is.
this little beepy thing.
But it works. Like, I have a girl, I know a woman, she's actually, she found a fart sound, and she had it play while she'd go and sit down and she'd have it play. Like, people would go crazy, you know? I called a salami sandwich once. I referred to it as a salami sandwich. And people, like, it's just funny. I love seeing it. Oh, my math was wrong on a video that went really, really viral. My math was intentionally wrong, but I intentionally said one number less than what it was. And the engagement, that video has like millions of views. The engagement was insane because they're like, 4 + 4 is 8, not 9. You know, that's not the number, but yeah. And I think I said 15 + 7 was 21. That's what I said. And people are losing their minds, and they're still, that was
Well, 'cause
last
people like to
September.
be heard.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's what they say. People want to be heard. They want to feel smarter than you.
Yeah.
Yes.
They love
Yeah.
when you
I know,
make
I
them
did
feel
a-
smart.
I did a video where I was like mid sip, like, or mid talking, like took a sip of my drink, and my daughter watched it. She's like, "That was really so extra. Why did you need to do that?" I'm like, "That was a visual hook."
You gotta do it in the beginning.
Like, or opening the soda,
Do it in
exactly.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Lick your microphone.
Yeah.
You know, like, weird things
Coming
work.
soon.
My friend, she did a video, and the video was aimed at something on the ground, but you could see her in the background, and she literally picked a wedgie out her front.
Oh my God.
That was the first thing I saw. It was the first thing I saw, and I wrote, and I'm like, that was brilliant. That was awesome. That was amazing. But people get incensed. They just get, and it's so much, when that happens, they don't realize that for the creator, that's gold. That's just gold.
Yeah.
I love when that happens. If I have,
Well,
if I like, people see my nose ring sometimes. If I know that my nose ring looks a little weird, I'll deliberately leave it like that because they think it's a booger in my nose, and they constantly want to tell me, "You have a booger in your nose," and okay.
you're like, "Thanks."
Right. Perfect.
Well, stay tuned for more of our silly videos that we're going to come up with. But where can people find you? I know that you have so many social accounts, but where's the best place to find you? And if they want to work with you too, like help consult along their
So
journey.
my main account is Call Me Tara J, and my main shop account is I Am Call Me Tara J. So it's almost the same.
Yeah.
It's easy to find, and they're connected. They have each other's names on them. So
Yeah. And we'll drop it all in the show notes. But thanks for hanging out
thanks
with
for
us.
having
this was
me
a lot
here.
of
This
fun.
was fun. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I actually got to meet
Yeah,
Jeanette.
so-
Actually meet Jeanette.
So
even though I've been a
exciting.
stan for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure to keep listening and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on social media at A Holistic Dose on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for more fun. And visit us online at aholisticdose.com. Thanks for hanging out with us this week. We'll be back next week with more unfiltered friend talk right here on A Holistic Dose.
See you later.
Thanks again. Bye.